What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're doing another client testimonial. One of our clients, Zach, just wrapped up his 6 months inside of the Physique Lab coaching program. He lost a whopping 24 pounds and turned into an absolute muscle machine. So I'll go ahead and put his transformation photos right down below so you guys can see exactly what that looked like for yourselves. But before we hear all that Zach has to say, I do want to make you guys aware of two quick things. The first one is that we have a video explaining the Physique Lab coaching program in excruciating detail. So if you're interested in learning more about how we're able to get clients just like Zach, such amazing results, I'll go ahead and put the thumbnail right down here so you know what to look for on my page, but I'll also link it as a time card up there and in the video description below. So either click up there or click the video description link. The second thing is that I will also put a link to my calendar down in the video description below. So that way, if you want to chat directly with me or someone from the team and start game planning your weight loss journey, that is going to be the best way to do it. But without further ado, let's get into the video. What is going on, Zach? How you doing today, brother?
Good. Beautiful day. How about yourself?
Doing well as well. Blessed and highly favored. I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to share all about your time inside of the Physique Lab. I know we're wrapping up the first 6 months here, but let's start with this, brother. What was your starting weight, and then what is your weight now?
So before starting the program, I averaged probably about 190 to 193. There was times when it was just under 200, and that was my starting weight. My average weight now is about 166, 167. Even on bad days, maybe 169, but it has not gone above 170. Even with my crazy schedule and
Yeah.
me not always being adherent.
Let's go down like 25, 30 pounds. And then I commented a little bit earlier before we hit film, but got the tank on, looking good. So I love it. Tell me, like, where were you physically, mentally, and spiritually when you first started the program? So if we rewind all the way to 6 months ago, and like, do you remember what it was that made you want to join the Physique Lab in the first place?
Yes. So I was in probably one of the lower spots in my life, just with my mental focus, clarity, my resolve, even with my faith. Going to church and things like that. But sometimes it just felt like going through the motions.
Mhm.
And then with my fitness, it was probably at an all-time low. My diet was absolutely garbage. I wasn't aware how bad it was until I started tracking the
Mhm.
macros.
Yeah.
With the fitness side of it, my workouts were sporadic. I've gone throughout life kind of going in fitness kicks where I got into lifting and then kind of just, didn't do it so much. Before starting the program, I was little to no workouts, very bad diet, very bad mental state. As far as the faith goes, I was going through the motions, but it just wasn't really at the forefront of my mind. And
Yeah.
so I was in a really bad spot. And so it wasn't really a New Year's resolution thing. It was kind of, I just felt like I hit that point in my life where I needed to change. I felt like I was at a crossroads. And if I didn't do something, I was going to be in big trouble going down the road.
Mm.
So I think it was something as simple as like searching faith and fitness on Instagram or something. And there was
Yeah.
maybe a couple of programs that had kind of run through my feed, but for whatever reason, I focused on you. And I don't know if it was like just your story was so compelling and you just seemed very relatable and down to earth. Um, and honestly, in all reality, it's all God's will, right? God's
Yeah.
plan. I had to hit that point in my life. I had to scroll to that particular point on Instagram,
Yep.
and it got me there. And I was hesitant, but I ended up investing in myself, and I'm better for it.
Yeah, so appreciate the honesty in terms of where you're at. And yeah, we know that God is not a God of coincidences. I pray quite frequently that He would bring the men to this program that He wants to join. And I know that was a cool moment we had even shared on the initial Zoom call where you ended up joining. And I quoted one of the verses out of Romans where Paul's talking about, why do I do the things that I don't want to do? And you're like, dude, and you flip the camera around. It's literally Bible open to that verse. It's like, all right, man, that's all the confirmation that we need that this is God ordained. Was there anything you wanted to add on that story?
Oh no, absolutely. I just thought of that as I was kind of wrapping up what I was saying. I was hesitant, but the
Mhm.
moment you said that, that's one of my favorite verses because it kind of just summed up me and I'm sure many others. Is we're trying, but we're just not doing what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And the moment you said it, I just like got a little teary eyed. It just hit me, and
Yeah.
then and from that point on, I was like, this is God's will. This is exactly where I need to be. I had to get to this point to move to where I am now.
Yep. I feel like the problem that most guys make is that they're trying to solve a lot of spiritual problems with only physical tools. And then when you join a program like this and you put the faith and fitness in combination, that's when you can let go of some of that shame, the baggage, the struggles, whatever it might be, and finally lift those things off of yourself and put everything into practice that we teach you to get the results that you did. But can you share a little bit more about that? Like if that's where you were 6 months ago, now that you've gone through the program, where are you now physically, mentally, spiritually?
Yeah, so there's just so much conviction with the faith part of it, right? Like you said, there's fitness. We've all done it. You go through these kicks, these fitness kicks, these health kicks, and it doesn't stick. And that's just because you're trying to solve a problem, but you're putting too much on yourself, I think. The cool thing about your program, and I've learned, is with the faith aspect of it, right? Like there is nothing we can do to earn the grace that God has given us. And so we need to work towards doing the right thing and being righteous and trying to live a good life. And the same applies to fitness. Like we can try to do these things, but at the end of the day, like there's times where we're not going to meet the mark. And the key is to not beat yourself up. Know that you're made in God's image, and your body is a temple, and so do your best to treat it that way. It is a temple of the Holy Spirit, so you need to treat it that way. And
Reach.
part of that is also not beating yourself up. And so like there will be times where you maybe stagnate a little bit in whatever goals. There may be times where you miss the mark, but the point is to not give up. Have that conviction, that faith-based conviction on how you treat your body, how you treat others, how you encourage others, and really just encourage yourself, pick yourself up sometimes. And I think this program is like a great conduit to like converge both of those, the faith side and the fitness side. And if you believe in your faith and yourself, it'll take care of the fitness side. It'll take care of that, and just I feel like there's so much less weight on me physically and like metaphorically. Like I don't beat myself up. I know I'm in a good spot. I'm headed in the right direction. I just feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. So it's made the program so much easier once I was able to accept that and just really just keep my faith focused, and keep it at the forefront even on the bad days.
Yeah, amen. That was so beautifully said. And I love how you're talking about giving yourself grace the same way that God gives us grace. We try to do that to the best of our abilities as coaches to make sure we don't come in and bash you over the head with a hammer and like, why didn't you do this? Right. But it's more of like the sustainable aspect. But maybe we can get into that because I feel like there's a lot of people that they think that you have to do endless hours of cardio and severely restrict your calories and eat like grass and strawberries all day and just 7 days of workout. So like, can you maybe share? You don't have to get into too much detail, but just like what we did as far as workouts, nutrition, daily habits that we focused on, things like that, that were able to help you lose these 24 pounds and see the transformation more than just in a physical sense as well.
Yeah, so in regards to, I think one of our original conversations, we had maybe started developing a workout plan, and I was like, "Oh, 5 days a week," and
Mm,
you were like, "Zach, let's be real here. Like you just told me you don't work out. You've been in a slump.
yeah.
You're not very consistent with that. Like let's do something that's realistic because when it's realistic, it's sustainable." So
Hmm.
I think we had done 3 days of lifting and 1 day of cardio. And you had even told me if you're getting your steps in, you're drinking water, you're getting good sleep. All the modules in the Physique Lab kind
Hmm.
of teach you like the things you can do in order to not have to like run 5, 10 miles, a week or whatever it may be. Um, so we did 3 days of lifting, and then I chose the cardio day because I actually enjoy running when my joints aren't hurting. So yeah, it was realistic, it was sustainable. As far as like the sets and the reps, it was kind of like getting back into it. Um, and then over time, my cardio has gotten better. My lifts have gotten back to where they used to be when I was really into lifting. My joints don't hurt as much, that was like my big fear is like I have a bad knee. I
Hmm.
got some aches and pains in my feet. And then even it was starting to go to like my back, but I think a lot of that was like the excess weight that I was carrying around. So
Yeah.
over time, uh, that worry that I had about my knee doesn't seem to be a problem anymore. I think it's
Gone.
what stays in motion. What body in motion
Yeah.
stays in motion kind of thing. Um, but yeah, overall, though, I think it was just a realistic thing that I can do. And then obviously, as time went on, I started adding sets. I got into like my sandbag phase where
Yeah.
I do the sandbag workouts. I have a weighted vest. I run with that. I work out with that sometimes and do like the lunges and stuff. So it was really nice to start with like a very fundamental, realistic expectation as far as workouts go, and then
Mhm.
I was able to kind of add on and like make it fun and put my own little tweaks to it to make it something that I kind of enjoy changing up certain lifts. With the diet though, yeah, it's I thought I was going to be, hungry all the time, eating, rabbit food, basically.
Yep.
That is not the case with the Physique Lab modules. It kind of you do a really good job of breaking down the science behind it in terms that I can understand, because clearly I'm not an
Yeah.
expert on any of this, but the understanding of calorie deficits and the appropriate macros that you have to hit, why those macros are important. Because in my mind, I'm like, oh, zero carbs or very little fats, but there are benefits to having those in the appropriate amounts, and then you
Mhm.
set that within the parameters of your how much calories you're supposed to be eating, and understanding like your basal metabolic rate, like all these things I didn't know. I would say the value in the physique lab in general. If I could take nothing else from it, like the knowledge that I got from it gives me the tools to live a healthier, sustainable life moving forward. So yeah, I was very surprised. I could pretty much eat what I wanted, with the caveat that I can't overdo it. If
Mhm.
I, am going to, eat a little bit, maybe some pizza or some Chipotle or whatever it was, just understanding what that's doing to my macro count, and then planning, my following meals after that. The weekly averages was a huge thing too. It's like if you're going to have what you call it, memories over macros,
Yep.
maybe you're going to go out with some friends and you're not going to turn away food and be that guy who's like, oh no, I'm dieting.
Yeah.
You can enjoy those moments in moderation, and then you just meal prep maybe throughout the week to adjust accordingly. And it's all
Yep.
about the averages. Your averages weigh in, your averages for your macro and calorie intake. It's don't beat yourself up for one bad day. It's you're playing the long game, and I've learned that through this program.
Yeah. Well, I love everything that you shared. I feel like if I could sum that up into two words, it would be adherence and sustainability. So making sure
Yes.
that we come up with something both on the diet front and the workout front, so that way you can actually stick to the plan instead of having to go to these crazy extremes. And then I know there's a lot of guys that they'll do that and then they'll burn out after a week or two anyways, and then they stay on that cycle for months, if not years. It's like, let's get you off that cycle and on a plan that's actually something that you can do long term. I appreciate you sharing as far as what we did in terms of workouts, diet, etc. But like beyond that, what would you say the experience was like of working together inside of the program? And was there something you liked most about like the coaching staff, the coaching style, the program structure, anything like that?
Yeah. So I've enjoyed the program so much that I've kind of gotten this like repertoire of when I start explaining it to people. And they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, it's a Christian-based men's fitness program." And then they start
Love it.
asking more, and I'm like, "Okay, so you got this app, right? And you're tracking your macros, and
Yeah.
I understand what that is. But the only way to understand that is I have the Physique Lab modules, which breaks down everything that I need to know to make a successful, program happen." And I talk about the EverFit. Oh, I'm logging my workouts. It tracks my personal best in every lift and things like that. I have daily reminders, my daily devotional Bible time. Am I drinking water? Am I getting my steps in? It's like all these apps converge to make a successful program. Um, and so, oh, I'm sorry. What was the original question?
Yeah, it's essentially like what was your favorite part about working together inside the program, whether it was coaching staff, coaching style, structure of the program? Sounds like you touched upon more of the structure based there.
Yeah, so the structure, right, with all the modules, the different apps tracking it, I really did enjoy, even though I was with the time zone difference and the scheduling difference. I did enjoy the group calls. I think my
Mhm.
first group call, for whatever reason, I think you might have been out of town, but it was like a one-on-one with Chaz. Chaz set it up, and
Yeah.
it just ended
Yeah.
up being me and him. But it was great because he'd already been in the program.
Mhm.
And so all the doubts and concerns and things that I worried about myself, he had already gone through it. And so me and Chaz are just talking. He was like, "Oh yeah, man, don't worry. Like, I did this and that, and like you're gonna figure it out, and you'll be good there." And it was just so cool to have like that one-on-one space. And then as far as like the coaching staff, you and Coach David are awesome. Very responsive. I remember, like I was telling you, I kind of go through this repertoire when I explain it to people.
Yeah.
They're like, whoa, wait, you're paying for like a remote type coaching? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, and this guy like gets back to you? I was like, I could text him today and he would get back to me today,
Yeah.
barring that he's not traveling or something. But like, yes,
Yeah.
he's very approachable, very responsive. Um, I do like recently Coach David starts doing those Loom calls, I think
Yeah.
they are, the
Yep.
video where
Started
he just
doing
kind of
video
reviews things.
check-ins again. Yep.
Yeah, and it's nothing crazy. It's kind of just him reassuring me that hey, you're doing this right. Maybe work on this, and it's awesome for me because like I
Yeah.
kind of know what I need to be doing at this point. I've been in the program long enough, so just for him to kind of check up on me and like he understands, I get to give that input of like, hey man, I'm on nights, I'm traveling, I'm sustaining, so that's like a win right there for me.
Yeah.
But he sees that, and he just it's just that little reassurance. It's quick, I
Yeah.
don't know, 3 5 minute video, whatever it may be. But I like that part of it too. I like the chats in the Slack channel, right? That's
Mm.
the app Slack. So we kind of went through this phase where we were sharing kind of like recipe tips and things like that. I
Mm.
like that because another huge thing I learned is you can eat healthy and make it taste good. You just
Yeah.
got to kind of find. So, big game changer for me. And I think anybody, if they don't know this, I feel like I'm like Johnny come lately when it came to this, but like
Yeah.
non-fat Greek yogurt. You can do so many things with it. It's packed with protein. Yeah, and so like all the guys kind of sharing these little like, hey man, I'm making this, or like, hey, what do you
Yeah.
think the macros are on this, or what's a good substitute for like regular popcorn, or like it was really cool just to see the community come together, and then the prayer channel too. People kind of started going into that, and it's just nice and reassuring that you're in a community with a lot of people that are dealing with the exact same things, and maybe they've overcome some of these trials and struggles, maybe a month or two ahead of you, and for us to bounce ideas off each other and pray for each other and just kind of share what we're all going through. It's just a really cool way to tie the whole program together.
Yeah. Nothing but good things to say. I love it.
Yeah,
Listen, all
absolutely.
the different features and bells and whistles. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome. But let me ask you this, since you said knowledge was like one of the biggest things that you're taking away from the program, I feel like oftentimes people don't know what they don't know. So now that you've gone through the program, would you say there's like one particular thing that you learned that is going to be a game changer for someone else or a golden ticket as far as this is what's actually going to help you reach your weight loss goals instead of spinning your wheels on your own?
Yeah, so I would say, I mean, it kind of ties back to like the realistic goals and the sustainable goals, right? I feel like there's a ton of information out there online that people kind of go and they go down a rabbit hole one way or the other. Maybe they cherry pick something they like and they're going to just put all their eggs in that basket. I think what separates this program from other people, going off on their own and doing this is uh, you break it down in such a way with like all the different case studies or meta-analysis, or you get down to the science of it, you explain it well, and it's not like, hey, this is something Kyler came up with. It's like, no, this is what the science has shown over years. It's compared, peer-reviewed type data. You just break it down in the modules where it's like digestible and easy to retain. And if I don't remember it, I can go right back into the modules and like rehash it out and be like, okay, this is what he meant, or this is what this means. Um, so I think that's a huge game changer. And then just the one-on-one coaching, like the responsive, the tailored approach, right? Like my plan is probably not like everybody else's plan. If I need to make adjustments, I can reach out to you and pick your brain on what you think the best way going forward is. So the fact that uh, it's setting those realistic goals and having that responsive coaching feedback to
Yeah.
tailor it to what I'm doing because my schedule's hectic, or I didn't know what types of foods to eat, and we'd kind of bounce ideas off of different recipes and things like that. I think that is like the big game changer is, yeah, having the realistic sustainable goals, the responsive coaching, the tailored approach. That's what makes it successful and different from if I were to go off on my own and Google some things and try,
Yeah.
and maybe I'm missing four other aspects and I only got this aspect down. This is like
Yeah.
a total package, covers all the bases. And if I don't understand something or I'm headed in the wrong direction, you're easy to get a hold of, and we can change course, adjust, and move forward.
Yep. I'll make sure to get you back on the right track. But my
Yes.
last question for you, brothers. I know on our initial Zoom call, I think the word you may have used was scam. And it wasn't necessarily in reference to our program specifically, but just online coaching in general. I know you're
Mhm.
pretty skeptical. So let's say someone's watching this on YouTube in the future and they've maybe learned about the Physique Lab, but they're a little bit hesitant about actually getting off the fence and joining the program. Like, what kind of words would you have for that type of person?
Yeah, I think what separates the Physique Lab from other programs that I've maybe seen other people try is the faith aspect of it. I think you are a genuine good person. You're looking out for us. I think God has made you a steward of your talents and your resources and your abilities. And you are using this program as a conduit to better the lives, not just the fitness, not just the health. You are bettering the lives of people. Um, and I think having that faith conviction, at least with my own personal experience and reading that Bible verse, as you were
Yeah.
saying, it being bookmarked, for me, that was like, okay, there are no doubts. I need to invest in myself. I need to do something to better my situation. So, my advice, I guess, to other people who might be on the fence is uh, God has a plan for everyone. You may have to get to a certain low in your life to decide to change. I
Yeah.
pray that you find that faith, that point in time where you can decide that, hey, you are worth investing in. That's what I had to tell myself. I had like a
Yeah.
little mantra when I first started, and it was kind of just something like I don't remember it anymore, but it's basically like, hey, you are worth it.
Hmm.
You can do this. You will do this. And I just kind of kept telling myself that, and then over time, I didn't have to tell myself that anymore because I knew it. I internalized it and I believed it. So if you're on the fence,
Yeah.
I would say I would say this. How many times have you gone out on the weekend and you ate bad, maybe you drank too much beer or whatever it is, and you're beating yourself up Monday morning and you regretted it? I'll tell you what you're not going to regret. You're not going to regret getting in those workouts, eating healthy, seeing the scale go down, getting compliments from people, just feeling better, feeling like I do feel like a new version of myself. And I don't regret it. I may have been hesitant, but I jumped in and I took a leap of faith, and I do not regret it one bit. The knowledge alone, the fact that like my faith has been more at the forefront of my mind as it was prior to this. Like there's just so many aspects of my life that have changed for the better, and it's sustainable. That's the thing. This is not like a health kick. This is just like a hey, I'm moving in this direction. I may not hit the mark every time, but that's not the end all be all. It's the this is sustainable and this is the way I can live. It's totally doable. I don't have to beat myself up about it. Um, and I don't regret it. I do not regret it one bit. So yeah, I guess the biggest takeaway would be you will regret the times you treat your body poorly. You will not regret when you invest in yourself.
Yeah, appreciate all the kind words, brother. And for anybody who's watching in the future, the one thing I want to leave them with is that the same way that Zach felt about joining the program, I don't think I've had a single guy who wasn't at least a little bit hesitant, skeptical, fearful, somewhat doubtful. Like, it's normal. Congratulations, you're a human being. But once you can finally push past those things, invest in yourself and take relentless action, especially with something like the Physique Lab, that is a proven system. And if you adopt a do not quit mentality inside of the program, which guess what? We have modules on building that type of mindset as well. If you go through the program and you do that, you could be sitting in the same spot that Zach is in, possibly even filming a testimonial just like this 6 months from now at your goal weight, enjoying life. So, yeah, man, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day and sharing all about your time here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tyler.
There you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed hearing all about Zach's time inside of the Physique Lab coaching program. I don't have much else prepared for you in this video, so before we part ways, two quick reminders. Down in the video description, there's a link to a video that explains how the coaching program works, and there's also a link to my calendar if you want to chat directly with me or someone from the team. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and turn those notification bells on so you don't miss when I post a new video. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.